Hello everybody. It's time for your market report, your East Bay real estate market report for May. We're going to talk about the homes that sold, and I'm talking about all of the different homes, the condos, the townhomes, and the single family homes in each of the different cities that I'm looking at here. So the first city that we're going to look at today is Richmond, California. So this April we had 60 homes that sold in Richmond, and that is an upgrade from last April when only 55 homes sold. It's an increase of 5 homes, and it's a 9% increase, which is a good sign. The average days on market in Richmond was also improved this month. So we had an average of 29 days on market last April. This April it was only 26 days, 3 days faster to sell your home in Richmond. So that's a 10% increase as well. The high sale price eased a little bit from last April. In April of 2023, the high sale was $1,600,000 and change. This April, it was $1,525,000, so it eased by about $80,000, a decrease of about 5%. The average sale price, however, increased a little bit. So last April, the average sale price was $693,000 and change, and this April it was $709,000 and change. So it's an increase of about $16,000. Not a huge increase, but up by about 2%. So up is always good. The average list price was about the same increase. It was up about 4% from $663,000 last year to $687,000 this year, up about $24,000. And the total volume of sales is up by just about $4.5 million. Last April there were $38 million worth of sales, and this April it was $42.5 million worth of sales. So the Richmond market is looking a little bit better than last year. Not hugely better. Prices are holding their value. Homes are holding their value. Prices are remaining high. And the inventory is relatively low. We're seeing a slight increase in the number of homes that are available and are selling. They're selling a little bit faster, and what this is saying is that, people are wanting to buy the homes despite the high prices and despite the high interest rates. So that's a good sign. But for the market to really expand, either the prices need to come down or the interest rates need to come down, or more homes need to come on the market. And none of those things have been happening for months and months and months. So that's what's going on in Richmond. Now I'm going to move to the next city, which is Berkeley. This is your Berkeley sales report for May. Berkeley saw a big increase year over year. Last month we sold 60 homes in Berkeley compared with 36 homes the prior year in April. The average days on market was improved from 19 days to 14 days. That's a big increase, a 26% increase in the speed of selling a home. The high sale eased slightly from just over $3.5 million last April to $3,250,000, about a $300,000 decrease, about an 8% decrease. And the low sale was also off a little bit from last year when it was $398,000. This April it was $335,000, so a decrease of about $63,000 or 16%. The average sale price is also down by $105,000, which is a little bit surprising. The average sale price last April was $1,573,000. This April it was $1,463,000, a decrease of $105,000. So that's 7% decrease in the average sale price. So in Berkeley, maybe the home prices are softening just a little bit. It's too early to say, but that seems to be what the year-over-year numbers are suggesting. The average list price is also decreased similar amount, about 5% decrease, about $66,000 less. The average list price was $1,334,000 last April. This April it was $1,267,000. Total volume of sales, however, is way up in Berkeley year over year. Last April, the total sales were 56 million and change, and this year it was 88 million and change, up by over $31 million, an increase of 55%. So that's really encouraging. We're seeing more listings selling, and total volume of sales is increased. So that's great. So the numbers are looking good for Berkeley. Now let's look at the next city, which is Oakland. In Oakland, we saw a slight decrease in the number of homes that sold, from 219 to 212. 7 fewer, 3% decrease, not significant. The average days on market is a little bit faster this year. It was 29 days last year. It's just 25 days this year. So that's showing that things are moving faster. The high sale was up from $5 million a year ago to over $6 million this year. 6.35 million was the high sale this April, and that's an increase of $1,350,000 or 27%, which is pretty good. The low sale price was a little bit increased this year, from $250,000 in April a year ago to $290,000, an increase of $40,000 or 16% increase. The average sale price is a little bit higher now. It was $1,030,000 and change last year. This year it was $1,109,000 and change, an increase of $78,000 or an 8% increase. So generally speaking, the average home sale price is better. Homes are more valuable on average in Oakland, according to the recent sales data. The average list price went from $924,000 last April to $986,000 this year, $62,000 increase or 7% increase. So again, it suggests that people are feeling that the homes are going to be more valuable. They're pricing them a little higher. The total volume of sales is increased by about $10 million, from $225 million last year to $235,000 this April, increase of about 4%. So the Oakland home market is vital and active right now. Homes are holding their value and increasing in value. We'll see how this trend progresses. The next city I want to talk about is Piedmont. Now, Piedmont's always difficult to handicap because there aren't that many homes that sell. Because the homes sell for a lot of money in Piedmont, there's a lot of fluctuation. But the number of listings that sold a year ago was only 3. This April, we saw 11 homes sold in Piedmont. So that's a big increase of 8 homes and a 27% increase. I'm sorry, a 267% increase. It's phenomenal. I don't think it's indicative of a huge boom in Piedmont. It's just things kind of vary a lot. It's nice to see though. The next number I want to talk about is the high sale. It was much higher this year. It was the high sale was $3,450,000 last year. This year it was $6.2 million, an increase of $2.75 million, an 80% increase. The low sale was down from $2.2 million last year to $909,000 this year. That's off by almost $1.3 million, a decrease of 59%. Average sale price was just about the same, however. So in spite of these other numbers that have fluctuated wildly, the average sale price last April was $2.9 million and change, and this year it was just over $3 million. Just $75,000 more this year, a 3% change, not statistically significant. The average list price was also pretty similar. It was $2.6 million last year, and this April it was $2.689. So about a $57,000 increase, 2% increase, not very significant. The volume of sales was radically increased this April, from $8 million last year to over $33 million this year, increased by $24 million, up by 276%. So what does this mean about Piedmont? Well, I think the number to look at is the average sale price being pretty similar, the average list price being similar, and a lot of the fluctuation in the other numbers has to do with the number of homes that have been coming on the market. So I'm encouraged to see more homes coming on the market. We'll see if this trend persists. So that's Piedmont. Next city I want to talk about is the home sale report for El Cerrito for May. So El Cerrito saw a big increase of homes that sold from 12 last April to 29 this April. It's an increase of 17 homes, or 142% increase. That's really great. The average days on market also very dramatic. It was 21 days on average last April. This April it was just 11 days, 10 days faster to sell. Phenomenal, great. It's a 48% improvement. The high sale went from 1.4 million last year to 2.5 million this year. So an increase of 1.1 million, an 83% increase. The low sale figure was also increased slightly from 595,000 to 677,000, an increase of $82,000 and 14% increase. Actually, that's pretty significant for the lowest selling home. The average sale price increased by about $283,000 year over year. Last year it was $1,046,000. This year it was $1,330,000. So it's quite a hefty increase in the average sale price. We'll be watching to see if this means that prices are generally rising in El Cerrito or if this was just a monthly aberration. We'll see. The average list price also went up over $1 million. Last April, the average list price was $946,000. This year it was $1,068,000, an increase of 13% and up by $121,000. The volume of sales, not surprisingly, was up from 12 million or 12.5 million last April to 38,587,000 this year. So it's an increase of about $26 million, a 207% increase. Fantastic, great. So all of this has to do with more listings coming on the market and selling in El Cerrito. Let's talk about the home sales report for May for El Sobrante. El Sobrante, we don't see that many homes selling. We saw 8 last April and 6 this year. So that's a 25% decrease, 2 homes fewer. The average days on market was a bit more. It was 33 days on average last year and it was 37 this year. 4 days longer to sell, 12% longer. The high sale, however, was up from 901,000 a year ago to 1,079,000 this year. An increase of $178,000 or a 20% increase in the high sale. The low sale was down from 463,000 to about 400,000, a $63,000 decrease, which is a 14% drop. The average sale price in El Sobrante increased from 655,000 to 736,000. It's an $80,000 increase, a 12% increase in the average home sale price. Now, this is encouraging news. Is it because there were fewer listings on the market? Is that what's going on? Not sure. Time will tell. But homes seem to be appreciating in value based on recent sales in El Sobrante. Average list price was also up from $631,000 to $664,000. It's a $33,000 improvement or increase and a 5% increase. Total sales volume, however, was down from 5.2 million last April to 4.4 million this year. And it's an $830,000 decrease or a 16% decrease. So again, this is just probably a function of the number of listings that are on the market. Looks to me like in El Sobrante what's happening is because there are fewer listings available, people are willing to pay a bit more because they want to live in El Sobrante. Let's talk about home sales in Albany for May. We had 12 listings that sold last April. This April, the identical number, 12 homes sold. The days on market, however, was a little bit better this year. It was 20 days on average last April. This April, it was 18 days. So 2 days faster, 10% increase in speed of sale. The high sale went from $2.4 million to $2.2 million, a decrease of about $150,000. It's a 6% decrease in the high sale. The low sale, however, increased from $375,000 to $570,000, increased by $195,000 or 52%. Does this mean that people are willing to pay more for a cheaper house? Maybe that's what it's saying. I think so. The average sale price was pretty similar, however, year over year. It was $1,189,000 last April. This April it was $1,178,000. So it's just a little over a $10,000 decrease in the average home sale price. Just a 1% change, not significant. The prices are holding pretty steady in Albany. The average list price went from $998,000 to $1,047,000, an increase of about 5%. So the total volume of sales was very similar this year to last year. It was just off $128,000 from $14,276,000 last year to $14,147,000 this year. Just a 1% decrease. So I guess we can say that in Albany, the market is holding strong. Well, now let's look at the city of Kensington for May. There were 8 homes sold last April. This April, there were only 3. That's a decrease of 5, a decrease of 63%. So does this mean that there were fewer sales because there were fewer homes on the market? I think so. I think it's just a function of the number of sellers who are coming out and putting their homes on the market in Kensington. The average days on market was quicker this year. It was 18 days last April, just 12 this year, 6 days fewer. That's an increase of 33% in speed of sale. The high sale in Kensington dropped significantly. It was $2.45 million last April. This April, the Kensington high sale was $1.38 million. So a decrease of about $1 million, 44% decrease in the high sale. The low sale was increased, however, from $550,000 a year ago to $1.1 million this year. That's a $550,000 increase, and it's a 100% increase in the low sale value. So again, is this a function of people looking at the lower end of the market and being willing to pay more to get into a house? I think so. I think that's what's happening because there just aren't very many homes on the market. Prices are high. People are looking at the lower end and they're willing to bid it up. The average sale price in Kensington last year was $1,487,000. It decreased to $1,200,000 this year. It's off by $280,000 or 19% off, which is a little surprising, frankly, that the average sale price is down. I think this is probably because there aren't as many of the more expensive homes that just came on the market. I think that's all it means. The average list price in Kensington also decreased. It was $1,359,000 on average last April. This year it was just $924,000. So it dropped by $435,000 or 32%. I don't think this is a significant indicator of anything other than the fact that this particular month, fewer expensive homes came on the market. Total volume of sales decreased significantly in Kensington year over year. Last year it was just under $12 million in total sales. This April it was $3.6 million in sales. It was off by $8.2 million or 70%. And again, it's just more of the expensive homes didn't show up on the market in Kensington. We'll see how things develop going forward. If there's any kind of a trend here, I don't think so. I think if we had more homes on the market, we'd see greater volume of sales. But we also might see the numbers decrease. If there were more homes available for sale, people might not be bidding them up. The prices might actually go down a little bit. Nobody knows for sure. Now let's look at Hayward. The city of Hayward saw a very similar number of listings that sold. Last April it was 80. This year it was just 77, so only 3 different, a decrease of just 4%. The average days on market in Hayward went from 19 to 24, so that's 5 days longer to sell. It's actually a 26% increase. So that's something that's worrisome for sellers, that the homes aren't selling as fast. The high sale went up significantly in Hayward from $2.3 million last April to $2.5 million this year. It's a $1.2 million jump, and it's 52%. So the more expensive homes are selling. The low sale decreased. So last April, the low sale number was $476,000. This year it was $388,000, off by $88,000, down by 19%. Average sale price increased from $884,000 to $990,000, an increase of over $100,000, 12% increase. So the values of the homes is strong. It's increasing year over year. The average list price is also up from $852,000 a year ago to $950,000 this year. So people are putting their homes on the market for a higher price, and they're getting a higher price on average for those homes in Hayward. Total volume of sales is up by $6 million. It was $70 million last year, $76 million this year, an increase of about $5.5 million, or 8% increase in Hayward. So Hayward's always interesting because they're, after Oakland, it has the highest volume of sales of any of the cities that I'm following. Now I want to talk about all 9 of these cities together. I'm talking about Richmond, Berkeley, El Cerrito, Albany, Kensington, El Sobrante, Oakland, and Piedmont, and Hayward. So all of those cities combined, I want to talk about what is the change year over year from April a year ago to April now. Last April, there were 433 homes that sold in those 9 cities. This year, it was up by 90, this April, we saw 470 homes sell, an increase of 37, or a 9% increase. So over these 9 cities, we're seeing a slight increase, a 9% increase in the number of sales. Average days on market in those 9 cities went from 26 days to 22 days, 4 days faster to sell overall, and a 15% improvement. The high sale was increased from $5 million last year to $6.35 million this April, an increase of $1,350,000, or a 27% increase in the high sale numbers. The low sale also jumped up from $162,000 last year to $290,000 this year, an increase of $127,500, which is actually a 78% increase in the low sale number. Average sale price on those 9 cities is up from $1,025,000 to $1,140,000, an increase of about $115,000, or an 11% increase. So this is again suggesting that the value of homes is holding strong and actually going up on average. The average list price in those 9 cities is also up from $929,000 last year to $1,020,000 this year. It's a $91,000 increase, or a 10% increase in the listing price. So people are putting their homes again on the market higher, and they're selling higher. Total volume of sales in those 9 cities is up. Last April we saw $444 million worth of sales. This year it was $536 million worth of sales. That's a $92 million increase, or a 21% increase. So what can we say about these 9 cities? We can say that the inventory has increased slightly more sales. The high prices are up, the low prices are up, the average price is up, and the total volume of sales is up. Everything's up in these 9 cities. Does this mean that the East Bay is going through or entering into a trend where prices are going to go crazy again? I don't think so. I think we're probably going to see it bump around up and down over the next months to come. That we won't see a real shift in the market until either we see the prices crash, or many more homes coming on the market, or the interest rates drop significantly down into the 5 range, or 5.5 range. That's your East Bay Real Estate Report for May. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Please reach out if you're thinking of buying or selling a home.